our episode Fortune Lies in Follow Up and how you'll get to know shortly. So, here is the video about professional experience of Mr. Sahil. Great, thank you, one and all. So, kindly type in the chat box, welcome Mr. Sahil Nair, and he is here for us. So, Mr. Sahil, thank you very much for joining us here for the Leaders Connect episode.
Prakash, thank you so much. It's actually a great honor and a privilege to be with all of you today, the Mask Leadership, your entire August audience, and Prakash, always a pleasure being with you.
Thanks very much, Sahil. That's really been kind of you. In fact, members as well as visitors who joined us today, let's quickly give you all a glimpse. Mr. Sahil and me were part of the HRAI episodes where that's when a leaders panel discussion was happening. That's when we had our first discussion, and since then I requested Sahil also to join our leadership community, and so kind of him that he's been here with us on the specific topic of topic that fortune lies in follow-up. So great, Sahil. That's a very specific and a niche topic, and few of our members had certain challenges with respect to following up, and that's how this title is being given. So, in different contexts, Sahil, I'm sure this could be used, but predominantly, most often it's being used in the sales. Generally, people call it in sales, right? The follow-up is always the last stage of the sales. So, we would like to listen from you, Sahil, as what is your understanding or meaning of fortune lies in follow-up, and what do you like to share with us as how this could be useful?
Great, Prakash. I think you put it very nicely to say that fortune lies in follow up. And I know you directly jumped into the domain of sales because that is where this would be most applicable. But I firmly believe that follow up is just not in sales. I guess it is in every single sphere. It's just that sales has a perspective where you are chasing a client or a customer, and therefore the follow up comes very naturally. But I want to give this whole topic a very different twist. And with your permission, Prakash, I know we have a very senior leaders on the call as well, but I'm going to make this slightly humorous and interactive and in my own style, bring out the message slightly differently.
Sure.
I think, when two people are in love, and I'm not going to say a guy or a girl because you can have even guys falling in love with guys and girls falling in love with girls, and the world is changing. So I would say when two people are in love, uh, when they fall in love, they end up doing a lot for each other, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the process of falling in love, a lot of people ask, or one person asks the other, or the girl asks the guy, or whichever gender, irrespective of gender, to say, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?
Uh,
Right? And think of it as an analogy to say, is that follow up?
okay, that's a nice point.
Right? Because if there is enough dose, and we are in the world of vaccination, so if there is enough dose of doing gestures or actions that communicate that love, the need for asking this question, do you love me, will not
Ah,
surface as often.
very rightly said.
Having set this as the context, Prakash, go
Hmm.
back to our corporate jargon of follow-up.
True. Mhm.
If the pull or the push strategy, whether it be sales, whether it be any other function, is good enough, the need for follow-up will be considerably reduced. Now,
Yes.
follow-up per se can have many dimensions. It could be because of inefficiency, and
True.
therefore there is a need for follow-up. It could
Yes.
be a reason where the person on the other side is giving you cold vibes, and
True.
therefore the need for follow-up. It could
Yeah.
also be that you want to ensure that there is a certain need of validation, saying that, oh,
True.
is my product okay, or is my service fine, or are you having a nice meal, or did you enjoy the order that you placed, right?
True.
And many times you will also see this when you go to a restaurant. Two people are sitting, they've ordered what they want to order. It's come to your table, and the person keeps coming to you and saying, are you having a nice time, did you like the food? And then you really go back and tell the person, you know what, please don't disturb me at the table, because you've got what you wanted, you're having a nice evening, and you don't want to be disturbed. And therefore, follow up as the key word is very important and needs to be used like salt. Too much of follow up, and you can actually get the person irritated. No
Yeah.
follow up when required is like food without salt. And therefore, you need to have that perfect blend of when to follow up, with whom to follow up, and what is the desired outcome that you want by that follow up. These are my opening thoughts, Prakash, but as we go along, happy to draw more analogies, examples from daily life with follow up.
That's a great insightful thought, and in a different dimension you take it forward, which is really liked it, is a couple of points where all follow-up could be useful, you're saying. And apart from sales, is also where we can see the follow-up is what you're highlighting. That's really good and excellently shared. So if we just can go more deeper, as you told, the certain key points like but in fact even the follow-up is necessary where it is necessary, it has to be used. And good analogy talking about it's almost like a food without salt, so good one. So here I would add on as you're sharing this. So as you shared, one point is, do we need to follow up for a product or a service? So as you gave an example, in even restaurant when we go, the service, so the follow-up does not mean that the customer only has to buy from us and for that's the way the purpose. It's also for just to keep triggering about the feedback, about the service, how is it. So the follow-up has a different avenues. So my question here is, so the follow-up, is it mainly that for the product or a service we need to use follow-up, or the follow-up must be done for building relationships with people? So what's your insights on it?
So I think so. In my definition of follow up, I would call it a chaser,
Correct.
right? And a chaser is immaterial. It is absolutely immaterial whether it is a product, a service, a gesture, an emotion, a validation, or an outcome. It doesn't matter. What is important to my mind is the medium used for the follow up.
Perfect.
Are you using, and today we are spoiled by choices, right? I can call you up and I can chase you, I can drop you a WhatsApp, I can drop you an SMS, I can go onto your Facebook or your LinkedIn and comment on your post and very subtly give you a chaser which you will realize and maybe somebody else might not realize. I think there
Correct.
are multiple.
Hmm. Uh,
Is the better form of valor.
Perfect.
Discretion is the better form of valor. And therefore, I believe that how do we exercise discretion in our follow-ups? Because at the end of the day, let me ask anybody on this call and make this very interactive. We have so many people on the call. Why don't you come onto the chat and tell me how many of you like follow-ups? Give me a yes if you like a follow-up, or give me a no if you don't like a follow-up. Thank you, Senthil. Nice to see you. Renga, no. Okay. Lovely. Atul says yes. Okay. Hari says no. Manish says no. Arani says no. Devrajan says yes and no, depends. Okay. Sivaraman says no. Ramakrishna says no. It's like too much salt. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Once in a while, it's okay. Right.
True.
And also, let me add another dimension. Would you like a follow-up one-to-one, or would you like a follow-up with 15 people CC'd on an email?
Perfect.
And if 15 people are CC'd on an email, would you respond saying, I was anyway looking into this, or I was anyway going to revert to your email, or I was anyway sending you a report? Or would you say, sorry, I know this has been pending with me for over 2 weeks. I have not been able to attend to this, replying to 15 people on an email. Now, these are individual moral or professional lens that we all apply. And this is exactly what differentiates an individual who is a great professional from a good professional. I see a couple of people writing on the chat. I will not hesitate to say sorry. Fantastic. Now, also, what matters is who is writing that email to you. Is it someone जिसको मजा आता है उंगली करने में? तो अगर आपका मन करेगा भी सॉरी बोलने को, क्या आप सॉरी बोलेंगे? Or is it someone who genuinely is someone who picks up the phone, speaks to you, works in a very collaborative manner, and therefore the first time the person has written an email and you're okay doing a reply all? I think all of these dimensions play a very important role in terms of how we build character. Because at the end of the day, it is character and our value system that holds us in unmasking our true selves as we look at masked leadership.
Okay, that's good. You're able to connect it to the respective community what you're talking about. Good. Good, Sahil. Continue. Are we audible to you, Sahil?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is nicely connected to the mask leadership again, and unmasking it is what you're saying. Wonderfully shared, in fact, Sahil. So I like the dimension what you shared. That means the follow-up is just not about people, unknown people are following up, and I'm sure that is one where people will not really like. But on the other side, there are known people. So there are for building relationships whom we already have a relationship and we follow up for a specific task. So the follow-up also can be done for building relationship, and that is where you're highlighting more very specifically. It's all about building character and the kind of a belief system what you have. So excellently shared that point, Sahil. So it's just not follow-up, it's just not for a product or sales. It's all about the human relationships, what we are. And when we start following up and the trust is there between two people, and when we start following up, and I'm sure people, what we follow up, there should be a purpose, and the purpose is very relevant, and the purpose is acceptable by both the sides. And I'm sure there are a lot of fortune which highlights, and that's what takes up to the next level. So thanks very much, Sai, for sharing.
Yeah.
Such
So Prakash, I think you touched upon a very important aspect, which is purpose. I want to add another jargon word, which has become a jargon today, is also intent, as I spoke about earlier. If the intent is to humiliate someone in front of people and therefore keep writing follow-up emails, it is very easy to figure out. If the intent is just to get a status update, it is very easy to do. More importantly, I want to add a dimension of how we as individuals are skewed to either one of these ways. Many of us already know this. Some of us may be task-oriented, very significantly task oriented, and one of us may be very significantly people oriented.
True.
Nothing right or wrong. I'm just saying, how does it play out when you do follow-ups?
Yes.
Right? Because if I'm a people-oriented leader and I know that it is important that work needs to get done, how do I make the entire process of work getting done awesome?
Mm.
Right?
Perfect.
How do I make it awesome? And in the process of making it awesome, if my job is on priority number 15 for my colleague, but priority number 1 for me, how do I make it move from priority number 15 for him or her to maybe priority number 5 for him or her as far as I am concerned?
Great.
And not every time, if you really shun people, will you get results. So there is that beautiful way of interacting with people in the process of being a taskmaster or a task leader by driving efficiencies, at the same time keeping relationships at the center of your existence. Because at the end of the day, you're not working with machines. You press a button and productivity goes up 80%, 90%. You're working with human beings.
Very rightly said, and an insightful thought you have given about people leadership and people-oriented leader or task-oriented leader. And intent has to be very clear. In fact, as you told, from the priority number 15, if it has to come to the priority number 5, it all depends upon how the relationship, how with that person we have, and the way how we interact with them only matters most.
Yeah.
And
I think,
also
Prakash, also what's very important is, see, I think so we've directly deep dived into this topic of follow-up, the pursuit of
yes,
follow-up, right? But let's
true.
take 2 steps back to
Okay.
ask ourselves, what is the real need? Why do we need to follow up, right?
Super.
And that, I think, is paramount. We should maybe spend 5 minutes talking about what is the real need for us to follow up. I think if you make work transactional,
Hmm.
it becomes yet another to-do. And what
Perfect.
I have always done with my teams is to take people to a to-be state.
Okay.
To be. What is it that Prakash wants to be?
Okay.
To be. And when I take Prakash to a to-be state, or a Renga, or a Devyan, or a Selvaraj, I am gravitating that thought process
True.
to say, you are here today, this is where you want to be. And in the process of covering this journey, there are multiple tasks or activities or projects or assignments that we need to do that get broken down into a to-do.
Perfect.
And the moment you empower people
Hmm.
and you give them full freedom to be who they want to be and show them the larger vision and give them clarity and empower them, trust me, I have seen most of the people don't need follow-ups.
Super. That's a nice one. Hmm. Relevantly told. In fact, we have one of the member asking such questions about follow-up in terms of delegation. In fact, they are the leader, but there's a when they have to follow up and with their subordinates, and the work has to be done or yet. So what I suggest is maybe I would request Mr. Devarayan to ask the question. He's one of our member here. So Mr. Devarayan is HR from ABB Hitachi. So he is here with us to ask a specific question in terms of following up with respect to delegation. So Devarayan, go ahead and ask the question.
Super.
Yeah, thanks, Prakash.
Yes.
Good evening, Sahil, and hope things are safe and good.
Yes, hope things are good with you as well.
Yeah, thanks. Wishing the same. Fine. Actually, we were talking about the follow-ups and the delegation with the delegated tasks and other stuff, right? As leaders, we have to delegate tasks to our team members. And it is challenging for following up on every delegated task. We must have delegated so many tasks, and it is challenging to follow up on every delegated task. However, if at all we are not following up, the tasks will get delayed. So please advise what is missing in the follow-up, or what would be the best way of follow-up on all these things. It has been asked by one of our member from FMCG industry. So I would just request a good solution from you.
Sure. I think the answer lies in the basics. Like they say, the devil is always in the details, right? So what is the culture of that organization which is in the FMCG industry, right? I've seen many organizations that thrive on follow-ups. I have seen organizations where, the first email, no need to respond. If someone is marked in CC, depending on who is marked in CC, you will respond immediately. And otherwise, if it is a one-to-one email, even for 4 or 5 days, you will not respond, because that is the way people prioritize. So I think it goes back to the culture at an esoteric level. Let's come down to a slightly strategic level and leave these lighter moments aside. I think, what is the individual going through? Is there a certain level of empathy that we have? Is someone playing the role for 4 people? Is someone in a crunch team and having genuine problems and therefore not responding? Is there a skill issue? Is there a will issue? If there is a skill issue, how are we helping the person? Sometimes, I can go back to my own career when I was way younger, right? I started off my career and an email would hit me and I would wonder, oh shit, yaar, what do I respond to this? लिखा गलत लिख दिया तो और तकलीफ, more problems if I give a wrong reply. If I send a reply and the reply is okay, not okay, do I need to check with my boss, not check with my boss? I was always in that dilemma. And then getting time from my boss very earlier on was very, very difficult, because my boss was so busy. So by the time my boss got time to tell me what to respond, I would have got a reminder, showed me in bad light. Yeah. And therefore, the whole concept of saying, what is the skill? What is the level of empowerment? Some people have the skill, but they have control people sitting on them, saying, no, you will not do this. I will tell you what to do and then you will do. Now, Devarajan may not know that Sahil is under this pressure. He may think I've written a mail to Sahil and Sahil is not responding. Then Devarajan may also say, but Sahil is a very good friend. Let me pick up the phone and speak to Sahil. Now Sahil is in a double fix because he knows the answer, but he cannot tell him. He cannot go and tell him, you know what, my boss has told me not to respond to you because I have to first discuss with my boss. Because if you go and tell my boss that, a real limiting move. So what should I do? So I have to play that game. And in the process of playing that game, this whole culture or reaction of follow-ups, trust issues, confidence, if I confide in you and we become very good friends, a different issue. So it's not an easy, straight answer, but the 2 or 3 paradigms I think one should definitely explore is understand what is the working dynamics. Is it a control dynamics? Is it a skill issue because of which the individual is not responding? Is it a will issue? Maybe I'm very, very low on motivation. Something has impacted me. I'm not at my best, right? Is it a temporary issue? Is it a permanent issue? Has it been happening for a long time? So one has to get into some level of these details to get to the diagnosis before you start treating the problem. And coming to this specific individual or one of your members who've asked this question, I'm more than happy to have an offline chat. But I think the culture of follow-up needs to be done away with. Because think about it. I have not met one person who has told me that follow-ups are productive. I have not met one person who has told me that follow-ups make people feel happy. I have not met one person who has said that follow-ups increase efficiency. You are just spending more time on the same. I would rather spend 1 hour explaining everything, creating a forum for the team to ask questions, clarify doubts, get full clarity, maybe even do a demo. on a particular sales pitch or a particular transaction or a particular question, clarify all doubts, empower them, and if they still make mistakes, have their back, because that's how they will learn. But if I get into this control mechanism or this follow-up mechanism, I think it is absolutely futile. Because beyond the point, what will happen is it will hurt emotions. And when it hurts emotions, automatically people will get into a justification mode. And when people get into a justification mode, that is the worst place to be. Because you can justify yourself to someone else, but will you be able to justify yourself to your own self? I hope I've been able to answer the
True,
question.
actually.
I may have gone slightly philosophical, but yeah.
No, true. Sometimes we need to take philosophy too to get into practical situations, right? To understand the practical situations, we need to understand the philosophy. Sometimes it is good to bring from there. Thanks, Sahil, for the straight away answer. And I think one has to be matured enough to understand the situations means where to follow up, when to follow up, and how to follow up. Then
And
he
more
wins.
importantly, sorry to interject you, who to follow up with. I'll give you a classic case. Maybe you've written to me, but it is stuck with my boss. What will I tell you? Please write a mail to my boss. And trust me, I see a lot of people on the call laughing. And this is all real life. This exactly happens because then what you're doing is you are unmasking the person who is sitting behind the email and not willing to come up front and solve the problem. And at the end of the day, think about it, right? What are emails for? Are you in a culture or an organization where you need to document? Now, if you're in banking, finance, I can understand. There is a need to document. There are regulatory concerns. But just imagine you're in an advertising agency where people love to sit in the washroom and they get brilliant ideas. Now, there, if you start writing emails to people and doing follow-ups, the guy is going to say, listen, call me. Add the guy on the call. Let's solve it in 5 minutes. Therefore, coming back to the earlier point, medium becomes very, very important with the kind of people you're working. When you know there's a difficult stakeholder, you know this guy will act nasty, you know there is a need to document, please document. But when you know the person on the other side, right? Deviranand is a very nice person. Why should I write him an email or write a follow-up email and just touch him on the wrong nerve? No need. So be very selective who you should follow up with, in how much time you should follow up, and what medium you should choose to follow up.
Yeah. Thanks, Sahil. It's a wonderful answer. Good. So I'll just go to the next question. Okay, so we all talked about delegating the task and following up. Now, one step ahead, following up with the stakeholders or top management people is challenging, right? Like, if we follow up, they say that I'm aware of it. And if we miss to follow up, they say that you should have reminded me or you need to remind me, something like that. How do we need to deal or what frequency need to follow up? Any inputs from you? This has been asked by one of the person from manufacturing industry.
So this is a brilliant question. This is like saying if you tell your wife, I love you too much, she will say, oh, who have you gone and met? And if you don't tell her you love her, then you know you're asking for trouble. This is the classic case, right? You say, I love you too much. You'll say, I know you love me. What do you want from me? You want to have some good dinner tonight. What do you want? You tell me that first, right? And if you don't say, I love you, you're not telling me you love me. Now go do the dishes. The dishes are there since morning. Work from home only. I need to work. Why are you not contributing to the house? So classic case on a lighter note. But coming back to your question, I think following up with seniors. I'll repeat myself. It shows my internet connection is unstable. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. So it says that following up with senior colleagues is not just a science, it is also an art. It is an art because I'm generalizing here, but the higher you go, the higher is the ego. And no one will ever acknowledge that I have an ego. Everybody will say, I am very humble, I am very down to earth. But that ego comes with certain level of confidence, certain level of expertise as a subject matter expert, and a certain level of power and authority that comes with the position. What also comes with the position is a great sense of responsibility. And therefore, when I spend time with a lot of people, I always say the higher you go, the more you need to practice servant leadership. Now, you need to very clearly understand when you are following up with a senior colleague, is the person a servant leader? Then all you need to do is put the problem statement ahead and make the problem different from the individual. Many times we make the cardinal mistake of making the problem the individual when the problem is actually the situation. I will repeat myself.
Yes.
Many times we make the cardinal mistake of making the problem the individual and not the situation. And when you do that, what we end up doing is that you are hurting the person or hurting the person's ego. Because you are saying, I tried calling you 4 times. I sent you 3 emails. You don't respond. What is he going to say? You think I have only your emails? I get 1,000 emails every day. I get 100 calls every day. You think you expect me to read every email? But you are already such a senior person. Why can't you take your own decisions? Why do you come to me for every small thing? Do you see how it has become a person versus a person problem?
Yes.
And the real problem, which is the situation, has gone outside the window. And therefore, when you come and you talk about the problem, saying today all organizations are giving vaccine. Organizations have a plan for COVID, for healthcare, for if at all they have lost certain employees. I know you are very, very busy with 5 other things, but this needs utmost attention. Certain employees of ours are impacted. What do we do with them? Certain employees have been called by the client at the sales location. Certain employees have to go on the work field, have to come to the factory. We need to discuss these points.
Yeah.
Can I set up a quick call with 2, 3 decision makers and can we take a decision? Automatically you will say yes. But if you write an email and you chase in a wrong medium or say, but I have been following up with you, you have not given me a decision. I think in every single interaction with the senior colleague, ownership of the junior colleague and sense of responsibility has to be paramount. The moment you show ownership and sense of responsibility, like saying, it is my task, I need to get it done. I am sorry I'm chasing you. I'm sorry I'm after your time. I know you are very busy. But if this does not get done, I will not like it. Can you please tell me when can we spend 5 minutes? And here I will give you a backdoor entry card. If you believe the other person is getting irritated, all you need to say is, like Indra says, use assertiveness. All you need to say is, please let me know if this is not priority. Because if this is not priority, I am working on 10 other things. I will prioritize the other 9 and this maybe we can discuss day after. Because I know you are working on 100 other things. So then what has happened is you have come to a common ground.
Yes.
A common ground of saying you and I together have decided, discussed and agreed that this is not priority today. We will deal with this tomorrow or 1 week later or 1 month later. But unless this communication gap is not solved for, he will say, but I am busy. I told you, remind me tomorrow. You didn't tell me. Now this has become an escalation. And therefore, that art of following up has to happen in a very, very nice manner. And 2 or 3 things I will share with you from my experience. You should know when to call up your senior colleagues. Each one of us have a body clock. Who is at their best at what time? What is the, we've heard this age old, right? When we used to go to office before the pandemic, one asked the secretary, boss ka mood abhi kaisa hai? Boss ka mood kaisa hai? We all used to do that, right? Why would we do that? Because if the mood is good, the person is in a happy frame of mind, you ask them certain pending things, tak, 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 sab close ho jayega. Person is in a bad mood, you go and ask, you will say, but you've not got this data. Have you spoken to that person? Bhaga dega. Wapas he'll send you back and say, get me 10 more things. And these are all the arts of doing things. I don't have a straight jacket answer, but I think some of these things might help your members.
Yeah. Thanks, Akhil. Actually, you have been very classically classified the art and science. Science are more facts, and art is something like, you create your own way of approaching things, right? So it's a very good thing. And again, as you are talking about, I have just felt the word which you have told earlier, right? It is intent. So when you show the intent of your follow-up to your leaders or the top senior people, so definitely they can also support you along, right? So that's a word, intent, underlined word. I have just caught it from your answer. Thank you, Sahil.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Prakash, over to you.
Thank you very much, Devarayan, for asking such wonderful questions. And Sahil, there were excellent, very practical example which you have shared. I'm sure such practical examples might have really provoked most of their members as well as the visitors who are here in today and who are listening to you. So we just left with few more questions open questions from the audience. What we'll do is, audience, that's all the members as well as the visitors. You may feel free to ask questions now to Sahil. The 2 ways to ask. One is either raise your hand and we'll unmute you. And number 2 is you can write that question in the chat box and we'll take it up. So, but before we take up the questions, we have a quick quiz now. I'm sure we all are aware about the points what all Mr. Sahil has told. So for taking up the quiz question, we request Mr. Selvaraj David, who also a member, and he's running a company called Phoenicia Facility Management Services. And Mr. David, I would request you to ask a specific question about a quick quiz, and let's see who is the winner for this week. Before the question, also let me also quickly take a view and the 5 more minutes, Sahil, and then we will come to an end. Before that, I would request Arul kindly share the last week's quiz winner as well. And last week's quiz winner is Mr. Yugender, who is from the HR from Everest IMS Technology. Wonderful, congratulations, Yugender, for winning up the quiz last week and answering the question correctly. So where you have received the Mass Leadership book, which will be reaching you shortly. And however, let's see David Selvaraj's quiz question and who's going to answer the right answer. So David Selvaraj, your quiz master, you're over to you, sir, to ask the specific quiz. Go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Prakash. I don't know whether I'm quiz master or something, but thanks for unmuting me, because I'm under lockdown at home and I'm always on mute mode because my wife is here with me.
Oh. You actually have the Derek O'Brien look.
Oh, thank you. Right, Prakash, you think that they all have to respond in the chat, or you can unmute them? I don't know. It's up to you. The team.
Either way is okay. Let us know. Chat box is preferable because unmuting all also we can do. But okay, let's take a chat box option.
Sure. Okay, team. Prakash asked Sahil that follow-up, is it mainly for a product or a service, or for building relationships? And what was Sahil's answer, please?
Good. So in nutshell, at least one word you're expecting, right?
Yeah, just one word. There's one main word which he used. Of course, he also used a noun. Fine, but the main word I'm looking for, Prakash asked Sahil, is follow-up mainly for a product or a service, or for building relationships? I mean, it's important for all of us, I think, on a day-to-day basis. All of us go through these situations. What was Sahil's answer, please?
So we're getting answers in the chat box as Rajesh
shall I-
said intent, Indra Vatvani said relationship, Lakshmi Narasimhan says medium, building relationships. So what do you feel is the answer, David?
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. I'll still give a clue. He said
Yes.
he calls it a chaser, right? And
Yes.
then he used a word. What's that? Okay, if no one is giving an answer, I think I'll be the winner this time. He said it's
Go ahead.
immaterial. It's
Yes.
immaterial, whether it's a product or a service or building relationship. What he said is what is important is the medium that is used for follow-up. I think it's very, very important.
Yes, immaterial. In fact, the medium used for follow-up, in fact, if you could see, that was answered by Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan.
Great. So I lost my prize this time. Okay. Okay. And if I have a second, he used a couple of old sayings. He said, discretion. I'm sure all of you will know this. Discretion is a better part of what?
Second question.
Go back to your school days. Go back to your school. Immediately, it was a continuation of this particular immaterial, and then use this. Just take back your minds, your school days or school days. I mean, discretion is a better part of. Prakash, I'm the winner this time.
Even challenging for me now to remember, David.
This
Go
is
ahead.
actually a great reflection on my ability to deliver and people's receptiveness.
Discretion is a better part of valor.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's what he said.
I think what you should have done is every 5 minutes, you should have done one quiz, a rapid fire. So then people would have warmed up to it. I think so. Now they were not used to this coming their way. So
Yeah.
now they're really thinking, oh my God, and you scratch their brain. But every 5 minutes, if you had a question coming up, it would have been good fun. Maybe for your next session, you can do that.
Yes,
sir,
definitely.
sure, sir.
That's a nice.
Yeah.
We will take it up that way.
But then people look forward to the next one. Right? I want to get the next question right. I want to get the next question right. But here, when it comes towards the end, maybe it's just too much of overload.
Prakash, can I ask Sahil a question, please? Or I mean, sorry, not a question. We have time?
Yes, we have time. We have open questions. It's the time for open questions now with Sahil. Let me just frame it up and then share it over with you, Mr. David, just a moment.
Sure.
So members as well as visitors, now is the time, as I shared, that we can go ahead, feel free, time for open questions with Mr. Sahil. And I'm sure if you have any questions with respect to the topic, fortune lies in follow-up, and we've been discussing where all follow-up is necessary, when, how, especially with whom we need to follow up. There were wonderful insights being shared. If you have more real challenges, please feel free open, and I'm sure Sahil is here with us to give you the solutions what we need. So we have over to David now, and before that, thank you very much, Lakshmi Narasimhan. Kindly type in the chat box, congratulations, Lakshmi Narasimhan, and you will be the winner for this week's quiz. Congrats, sir, and I owe you the mass leadership book still, but definitely you will be receiving it shortly, sir. I'm sure that's my promise. Good. So over to you, David, sir. So go ahead. You want to ask?
Sahil, it's actually not a question, probably. I just want to share something. I'm from an army background, and in army, there's no question of follow-up. An instruction is given by this time, this date, it needs to be done, it will be done. And for some reason, if it's not done, there's a feedback given, which goes up the escalation level, and people are happy. So I left the army and came to civil, and I found things are not happening the way it used to happen. And I started following up. Not with an intent to sort of demean a person or to show that I'm a boss there, etc. And over a period of time, I've seen anything I give, people know I follow up. So before I even get back to them next time, they started getting back to the results, you know. And if there's something, they'll come back and say, "Saab, nahi hua saab, so time lagega." Okay, fine, you know. So this particular message goes also to my bosses, and they're happy. So once people under your command realize, okay, this guy gives something and he follows up, with a good intention. At the end of the day, the organization's interest comes first. It's nothing to do personal. So once they realize that, I feel they automatically get back to you with the delivery timelines. That's what I just want to say. That's my experience, Sahil.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And there is just so much that we civilians have to learn from the forces. So salute to all the forces. But I think be it discipline, be it the whole concept of looking at how do you really go back and close the loop is fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing. Prakash, I think some hands have gone up. Maybe you want to look at the audience.
The hands also gone up, and we also have one in chat box. So first, let me take that, and then I'll come to Harini Srinivasan. So one question in the chat box by Sendil. He asked, what should be the art of follow-up when we deal with government officials, when we clearly see slip in targets? Oh, that's a good
Slip
question.
in target from whose side? Our side or government official side?
Maybe that's the question.
From our side. So from our side, where our boss or our senior management sees that we are going to fail in some project or target, and which is linked with the government official input. And if that input is getting delayed, or if that task is still open, then it has an impact to our...
Close the communication loop, the 8 loop, close the loop. That's important. That's very important. The moment you close the loop, like Selvaraj told us, proactively come and say, I'm working on this. I have done something. It may not be 100% done by the deadline. I will try my best, but at least 80% I'll give you a status update. Maybe it will take a couple of hours more, but we will be in touch. That gives comfort. See, no one likes surprises. When people make commitments, people love to deliver to their commitments. And I think the best way to do this is you never want to expose your team, but tell your team, if you were in my place and you made a commitment to someone and you were dependent on someone to give you some details and they didn't, how would it make you feel? I think what is fundamentally very important is to move from thinking to feeling. The moment you move from thinking is a task, is a to-do, is a follow-up, is an activity. Feeling is the emotion.
Yes.
So if you say that if your boss is criticized because you have not delivered, does it cause you pain? Does it cause you a sense of embarrassment? And if it does, that person will never let you down because they know that you will stand up for them, you will have their back. And like they say, when you have a balloon, you actually go even in the forces, right? When you go to your commanding officer, and Selvaraj is more competent, maybe we should hear more from him. But how does your commanding officer stand for the entire Balkan? Exactly that way. And if your boss is going to stand for you, would you want to let your boss down? Never want to do it. That's
Great. Thanks, Sandeep, for asking the question. And I believe you might have received the solution. We also have Harini Srinivasan raising a hand. Manish, I would request you to unmute Harini Srinivasan.
Yeah, Harini Srinivasan is unmuted.
Pardon me?
Harini Srinivasan already unmuted.
It's unmuted. Go ahead, Harini. Maybe you know what's the question, and it will also be helpful if you can turn on your video.
Sorry, I'm not turning on my video right now, but let me ask my question now. This question is slightly on a lighter note. We went on a very serious tangent, but I want to bring it back to where Sahil started from. So Sahil, this question is to you. I definitely know you're a bachelor, but I'm still asking you with the same analogy that you started off with.
That wasn't my introduction that I gave Prakash. I don't know where Prakash picked that up from.
I know you very well. So
that's the first time I have been introduced on a forum to say he's an eligible bachelor. But anyway.
There could be an intent. Anyways, we'll follow up with Prakash on that. So my question to you, Sahil, is if your wife or girlfriend doesn't have to follow up with you to ask and keep asking, do you love her? What would be your mantra to show that value and that intent behind that so that a follow-up is not required?
Well, I think that's a good question, Harini. And I think I touched upon this very briefly when I was giving the love analogy example. I think two things. One, every human being on this planet, without exception, has a need to be understood. Just imagine if you kept talking and no one understood you, or everyone misunderstood you. You would feel so pathetic about your own self. So I think for starters, before we come to main course and dessert, I think for starters, it's the need to be understood. Come to main course, fast forward, because I'm conscious of time as well. I think if you can help someone feel special, it doesn't need to be a materialistic thing, even a small thing like a phone call or a message or a call or reaching out or a small surprise gift, anything that the person likes, especially in these COVID times when we are all so far away. Picking up an old photograph and making a nice message on it and sending it on WhatsApp. Everyone, different strokes for different folks, but I'm just saying if you could do something like that. And third, for dessert, I said the need to be understood, make the person feel special. And for dessert, I would say, if you can, with anybody who you love, actually let them be. Let them be. Don't try and make them be who you want them to be. Let them be. And the moment you let them be, they will breathe, they will flourish, they will do well. If they need you, your guidance, your inputs, they will of course come to you. But if you start doctoring your thought process or your way of being on them, then initially they will still accept it because they love you. But beyond the point, they will say, oh, this is not the right person because he or she is trying to put me into a mold. So let them be. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Harani, with the 3-pointer: starters, main course, and dessert.
That's an awesome answer, in fact, Sahil. She did mention in the chat box. Thanks very much.
In the chat box. Okay.
Question also was asked. One last question we'll take, in fact, Sahil, and then we'll quickly wind up with a quick summary. The question is from Mr. Rangarajan. Rangarajan, kindly go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, Sahil, very excellent answers for all your questions. My question is there is a different way of follow between a leader and a manager?
Of course. Very good question. Brilliant question as we conclude this session. I think a leader will never follow up. A leader will nudge.
Wow.
And a gentle nudge is very different from a follow-up. Now, you may say, Sahil, you're playing with English words. Sorry, gentlemen and ladies, I'm not playing with English words because when someone nudges you, it is a nudge. And a nudge makes you feel, oh shit, why did I not think of this? Why did he have to remind me? But a follow-up makes you feel, I'm using my words very carefully, a follow-up makes you feel, I am not good enough. Because it is a chaser, because it is a reminder, because it is trying to tell you you don't follow up on your own to-do list, and therefore I need to maintain a to-do list for you as your manager, and your job is also my job, and I have to follow up with you, and unless I don't follow up with you, work doesn't get done. That is what a manager does. And what a leader would do is a very gentle nudge to say, Sahil, have you thought about this? Maybe this is an interesting perspective when you go into that discussion. These are the words. That is what a gentle nudge is. And that is what makes you feel, shit, why did I not think of this?
Yeah, excellent answer. Excellent answer. Even my boss always tell, don't make your subordinate to fail and don't expect to fail. Make them and treat them so that they can't fail and they can do the job on time. He always the same to me. Very good answer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rangarajan, for asking the question. Sahil, Rangarajan is from Nash Industries from Bangalore, and he's been a part of a member for quite a long time. Excellent. Thanks very much.
Very
Raj.
nice.
That's really been great. So, members and visitors, that's been an excellent episode today, and I'm sure in the interest of time, we have to come to a conclusion. And I'm sure, let me quickly take up the scenarios to summarize what all we have taken up from this respective episode. And as every week we share, our role is just not to take away the learnings from every episode. What we also do is go back and demonstrate, and we also, all our members have their respective logins where they also demonstrate. But before me sharing about all those, let me quickly summarize. So we started off with an excellent question. Maybe earlier, most of the people start thinking that only fortune lies in follow-up means it's only sales, and in sales is what the last stage of follow-up comes. But today's episode has given us more insight, saying that apart from sales and apart from the respective services, it's also more follow-up is required to the relationships. Yes, the relationships are strong, then definitely it adds value. But we came to certain conclusions saying that too much of a follow-up will definitely make them clutter. So we should know people, whom are we following, why are we following, when we need to follow up, and how to follow up. And that's what practical examples have been really shared by Mr. Sahil to us, which is really deep enough to understand, which has got a wonderful explanation and understanding. Thanks very much, Sahil. And I did really like a couple of points which you told also, Sahil. We don't have to be a chaser. And the last one, as you told, manager and a leader. Our role is not to keep chasing people. Our role is to, as a leader, our role is to only make the people think within themselves. As did I miss to do a particular task? And it's not our role to keep reminding them to keep doing so. And that's not a leader's role. So wonderfully shared that as well. And wonderful insights, different analogs taken with respect to thinking and feeling. And that was really, really superb. I liked it. The difference between thinking and feeling. And we will start taking more and more steps towards it. And these are all points which has given us clarity that follow-up is required at a minimal level. When it needs to be, do it. And even if it's delegated task, how, when, why, whom, very especially whom, and not to miss, very important is the intent of the follow-up plays a very important role. And this is all we understand, and then we interact with people. And I'm sure it's all about relationships what we build, which will definitely create a fortune. So thanks very much, Sahil. That was an excellent episode. And let me take up a quick glance for all our members here. The next week episode is our reflections episode. For the first timers here who have come up, the visitors, every week or every month, the last Wednesday is a reflection session. So every week's episode, what we do is, all the leaders keep coming and we all have all the learnings. The Leaders Spirit episode does not stop with the learnings, what we learn from every week, but we also go ahead to implement it. So the next week is our reflections week from the 3 episodes. Topic is moving away from comfort zones, leader is an engaging team member, and fortune lies in follow-up. From 3 different leaders, we've got the perspective. And kindly stop the screen sharing, Arul, thank you very much. And the whole objective is, members, before the next week, please ensure that log into your respective portals, which has been shared with you all. Go ahead, type in the action plan. From these 3 episodes, what are the key learnings which you received? Convert that as an action plan. I'm sure every leader has an opportunity for constantly growing. And the constant growth is only within oneself. When we are aware about certain impactful, insightful messages, but our role is to take a role to demonstrating them. And let's do that. And the link for that next week's episode is also in the chat box. And my mobile number also will be there. The visitors who have been here today for the first time, if you wish to be a part of our community, you're always welcome. If you have a clarity for continuous learning, yes, this is a community for a continuous learning, deeper insights, and here is where we ensure that we all are more of creating. Leaders are the people who create more and more leaders. And thus people like Sahil are people who are coming us, are creating more and more leaders. That's what we've been doing here in this community. So thanks very much, Sahil, once again. It's been a very insightful episode. That's really been. Thanks very much for your time. Thanks all the members for being in here. We have one last thank you video to share for all the members as well as the visitors before we leave. Yeah. So over to you, Manish, for the thank you video.
Thank you everyone.
Good. So thanks, Sahil, once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me over. I just wish each one of you, please stay safe, take good care of yourself, stay indoors, and be well protected. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your last message. That really helped people. So great. Thanks, Sahil, and we'll stay connected.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Manish. You're in the meeting. Thank you all. Meet
Thank
you
you.
all.
Bye.